Hello everybody, happy Saturday. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? I'm doing just tickety-boo. I'm having my little near beer here on a Saturday afternoon. Cheers, dears. Hope, as Texas Paul says, I hope yours is as good as mine, maybe even better. After you cheers, you gotta take a drink or it's bad luck. Just saying. So today, I'm going to talk about Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma. They are a state with a vast amount of hypocrites. I'm just saying. Not like the iHip News girls. Jennifer and Pumps, there's no hypocrisy there whatsoever. They give it to you straight. And that's what I try to do. When I grow up, I want to be them. I just think they're so awesome. So anyway, newcomers, welcome to the channel. Getting more and more every day. I appreciate each and every one of you. But you know what? It's because of my hangers-on that you're here. Because if they're not liking me, loving me, and sharing me, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't find me. So, thanks to my hangers-on, you are near and dear to this old wrinkly heart. I'm just saying. All right, let's get into this, okay? Okay, Oklahoma. There's a thing called the PragerU test going on in Oklahoma right now. First, let's do a little background here. First, they wanted to spend a ton of money on Trump Bibles for every classroom. Did a story on this a little while back. Now, dumbass Ryan Walters is about to hook up the teacher shortage in Oklahoma. Now, remember back in February 2025, when Ryan wanted to spend over $3 million for Bibles to be placed in every single classroom, K through 12, in all of Oklahoma. Every classroom. 55,000 Bibles he wanted to order. $3 million worth of taxpayers' money. When he could have just went down to the church and said, can you give us some Bibles for our school? Would have got them for nothing. But no, he was padding a mango moose knuckles pocket. That's what he was doing. There was no holier than thou. It's how can I make him richer? So anyway, the Bibles he was ordering, like I said, were for his overlord and heretic, Donald J. Trump. That's who was going to make the money off of that, because I think he already bought out Lee Greenwood for $69. Now, this number will be relevant later. So Oklahoma has they're almost at a critical teacher shortage in that state. And boy howdy there has decided in all his infinite wisdom to give folks who move to Oklahoma to teach in classrooms to make kids smarter, because God knows they need it, where it is proven that Oklahoma embarrassingly has a low education outcome for children. You know, they were number 44 out of 50, and that's bad enough. But as of July 24th, Oklahoma schools now rank 50th in the nation. And that's not at the top of the heap. That's dead last. Dead last. But they are beating out New Mexico, though. New Mexico has moved up, so congrats, New Mexico. Those stats were courtesy of the Oklahoman by Josh Kelly. Good job, Josh. Good job. Somebody taught you well. Ryan Walters is more interested in Bibles in classrooms and teaching about Republican Jesus and getting more Christian charter schools, although he is part of the public school system, but that doesn't seem to matter to him. Then he is about hiring good teachers who love teaching all kids. You want to pray? Go to church. You want to get educated? Go to a school. We don't need to mix both in there. Kids know from very early age whether they're religious or not. And down the Bible Belt, they know even before they're spit out. I'm just saying. A public school would be preferable, for the simple reason there that the kids would be evenly socialized, if you know what I mean, and get to know how the other half lives. Experience their cultures, their history, not the whitewash shit that they're getting taught now. Howdy boy there looks like someone has their hand jammed up his ass and moving his mouth like a ventriloquist or something. Superintendent for Public Schools Indoctrination. I mean, instruction. Public schools instruction. It's indoctrination. Well, he's teaching it anyway. Ryan Walters, he will compel. The fire of hell compels you. Compel prospective public school educators, but only from New York and California, to submit to an American First test. Imagine, dying for teachers, and they get good teachers coming down to teach their stupid children. Well, I shouldn't say that. Can't blame the kids. Can't blame the kids. Children learn what they live. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have blamed the kids. That was wrong. That was really wrong. But, to weed out public school educators from New York and California to submit to an American First test to weed out woke leftist ideology and to combat woke indoctrination. But sure, feel free to indoctrinate all those Jewish kids, Muslim kids, the indigenous kids that go to school, and you just indoctrinate them with Republican Jesus instead, whether they want it, need it, or not. As long as I'm superintendent of Oklahoma classrooms, they will be safeguarded from radical leftist ideology fostered in places like New York and California. Okay, Ryan Walters. First off, New York ranks 17th in the country. California ranks 24th, up from 37 last year. So this Republican Jesus boy, all holier than thou, until his freak flag started flying in a Zoom call a couple weeks ago. This Trump perv, because you know it's all about protecting the pervs and the pedos, was hawking Trump Bibles and saying they're mandatory in 55,000 classrooms. By the way, that was struck down. So I don't know what he did with all those Bibles he bought. 25,000 worth of Trump ones, I believe it was, is now under investigation by the sheriff's office. It would seem he was conducting an executive session with the Oklahoma State Board of Education when all of a sudden a TV that was on in Ryan's office just over his shoulder ready for this? I hope you're sitting down. I'm going to have a drink, man, because this just gets so good. It just gets so good. So just over his shoulder, you see on the screen, you see a naked woman appear. And then you see another naked woman appear. And then I think there was two more. All full frontal. And maybe he was watching porn in his government office. Do you think that could be a thing? You know, those Republicans and their dirt. He was watching porn in his government office, lecturing these board members on only what I can assume are the good Christian values in the public school system. And in true MAGA fashion, the accounts made public by board members paint a strange, unsettling scene that demands clarity and transparency. Well, you know what they're like about transparency, don't you? Said the Senate President pro tempore, Lonnie Paxton. And it's not immediately clear who is responsible for showing the women. Some board members said Walter was facing the other way from the TV during the meeting. Holy shit. He was the only one in the office. Who do you think put that on there? He was the only one in there. Oh my God. And thankfully the TV was muted. Hello, can you imagine? Oohing and on and oh baby. Oh, now comes the spin. Now comes the spin. Any number of people have access to these offices. You have a hostile board who will say and do anything except tell the truth. And now the OKLAHOMAN, that's the newspaper that I got this from, the OKLAHOMAN is reporting an alleged TV cable image. Sweet stuff for Jesus, are you kidding? Okay, I live way up here in Canada. There was no alleged TV cable image. I saw those naked women. You could see it behind, but they don't show it anymore. But the day of, yeah, they were showing it. These naked ass women in what I'm assuming was a porn movie. And if that's Oklahoma's vision of cable TV shows, you're going to the wrong church, if you just know what I mean. You're all going to hell in Ryan Shaggin' That's where you're going, if that's your cable news. Oh my God. And Becky Carson, a board member who was disturbed by what she saw on Boy Howdy's TV, she said, I saw them just walking across the screen. And I'm like, no. I'm sorry I have to use this language, but I'm like, those are her nipples. And then I'm like, that's pubic hair. I was so disturbed by it. I was very stern, like I'd been a mother or a classroom teacher, and I said, what am I watching? Turn it off now. And all I could think was, don't look, Martha. As the streaker went down the court at the basketball. Don't look, Martha. That's all I could think of. Oh my God. Then Ryan's, he just turned around and turned off the TV, but he couldn't get it to shut off for it because he was trying to push, and he finally got it turned off though. And all I could think of was, drop your weenus and use the clicker, Ryan. That's all you had to do. You just had to grab the clicker and keep, no, he had to jump up. So Becky got a good look though, and she said, it looked like it was made in maybe the 60s. And I'm just wondering, Becky, you're a good church girl. Are you privately a connoisseur of 60s porn? Is that what you're doing, Becky? No offense, if you want to do that, you just get as high as you want to get, girl. You do what you got to do for you. Circulation and blood flow and all the rest of the stuff. And then Ryan, Death Rage, good name, right? Said, the TV was on throughout the meeting, but the volume was turned down. Oh, well, there's blessings in small things. Quite frankly, he said, I didn't know how to handle it. One or two hands, it's up to you. Depends how you're packing. I was just in shock. I was being human. Was it hard to look away, Ryan? Was it hard? I'm just asking. And I didn't know what to think. Oh, I bet you had a few thoughts going through your head when you seen that. I kept thinking that it was going to go away, so I quit watching it. No, because you were concentrating on something else by this time. Was it the happy ending you were working on? I don't know. Like, those stories they really have no plot, but the climax is out of the world. But anyway, he said, I was surprised when he just came back to the table. He was not apologetic. We didn't even hear him apologize for that being on. And it didn't seem to faze him that it was on at all, because that's how groomers work, Brian. They do shit like that in front of people and convince you that it's normal. The more you see it, the more normalized it begins. You know, like the Mango Moose Knuckle and his deeds. But anyway, yes, Ryan. We hold educators to the strictest standards when it comes to explicit material. The standard for the superintendent should be no different. But sure, you can go on all this stuff that you want, but you're going to ban a book called Tango Makes Three about an orphan baby penguin who was taken in by two gay penguins. True story. It came from a zoo in the United States of America, actually. So, explicit, does it just mean in offices, or are you allowed to watch it at home? I know you can't watch Pornhub in Utah because it's banned. They took it out of there. But I did also notice that if they don't start releasing those Epstein files, that Grindr's going to start releasing names, because they broke Grindr twice at the RNC. And it was like a big ball, and there was like another person looking for a hookup within like a foot and a half of each other at that RNC. So like, don't come to me with your holier now. You're a bunch of pervy bastards. That's what you are. Anyway, Naughty Nana loves you. Be good, be safe, and please take care of you first. And I hope you had a giggle or two over this, because I am just blown away by how much they put the blame on everybody else is a perv and everybody else is grooming children. He's grooming that whole friggin' executive board there by making that look normal. Just walking over and go, oh, excuse me, TV's on, click. Yeah, normalizing behavior like that, that's grooming. Anyway, I love you all. Don't forget to be good to you first so you can be good to somebody else. I love you so much. I hope you got a smile from me today, and maybe you can trade it in and give it to somebody else. I love you. Mwah. Love me, like me, share me, and don't forget to subscribe. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going places. I love you so much. Let's see if we can see her down there. Oh, there she is. Say hi, Viv. Gotta tell you, Vivi's a little high. We had to give her some trazodone. We had a big thunderstorm here this morning. She was freaking out. But she's nice and calm. Anyway, Nine and loves you. Mwah. Take care of you.